Hello everyone, this is Red Jester from Red Jester Gaming, and let's get started. I've been playing video games for most of my life, and video games is a form of escapism for me. And some properties that would really interest me and that I was really excited about were Star Wars and Game of Thrones. Star Wars in the terms of it's fantasy, in space, a lot of interesting character development, and you're really interested in investing in the characters. And also, another property that I'm interested in is Game of Thrones, and it sets up a bunch of houses. It's kind of like Dune, but it's not like Dune. It's set in the medieval times. So with Star Wars and Game of Thrones, I was like, it'd be a really cool game that, basically like you have your own house as a planet, and each house has its own characters, own story development, and so forth. And it would be really cool is like if you could like buy your own ship and then fly off to a space station or fly to a different galaxy. And that was my dream game. Like I always wanted to create like a Star Wars like game where you could literally like start off on a small little planet, buy a spaceship, bounty hunt, and eventually grow where you can basically leave the planet and go to different other planets. Basically what I'm describing is Star Citizen. So yeah. But the problem with Star Citizen and even Bethesda's making an open world space game is that they create thousands of different planets, and if you create so many different planets, each planet kind of becomes bland. Like even Star Citizen, there's 1,000 different planets, and yeah, there's story missions you could bounty hunt, you can have your own spaceship, but it's like there's not really like 20 hours of story in one planet. Like that creates too much stress on the game. But it's a game that eventually I want to build, and I want to create it on a smaller scale, like a Star Wars, Game of Thrones like universe where you start on a planet, you level up, you create a spaceship, and eventually you can leave the planet and you go to a couple other planets, but each planet has its own storyline that makes you vested in interest, and it's not like, oh, I'm going to planet 800, and it's not really interesting, so to speak. But what will make my dream game interesting is that you can fly to different planets, and each planet has its own storyline. It has a story that makes you vested in those characters and in that planet. So yeah. So what is the game that I'm working on now? So my first game is the Korribanth Slave Rebellion, and it is not my dream game, but it is set in the same universe as my dream game. So Korribanth Slave Rebellion is an FPS with some RPG elements. And yeah, it's a very exciting game, and it's my first game. And it is not my dream game because like that's a very bad thing to do as an indie developer, is like to create your first game as your dream game. It'd be like, I've never swam before, and I'm just gonna drop 20 feet in the ocean and swim 10 miles. Like it sets really unrealistic expectations. But I feel really good about this game, and hopefully you guys will see it in the year 2024. So why did I start a YouTube channel? So I started a YouTube channel for 4 reasons. The first reason is marketing. So you say you have 1,000 indie developers. Usually 80% of them will drop within the first 2-3 months. Why does this happen? This happens because the indie developers realize this is going to take a lot of work. It's in the beginning they're like, wow, this is amazing, look what we've done, but they realize I'm going to spend 2-3 years on this. Do I really want to spend 2-3 years working for free on this? And it might not be good. So most of them usually they get fatigued and they drop out. But what happens to the 20% that do go forward past 2-3 months? They usually drop out after their first game, and the reason why is that they thought that their game would sell well, and it didn't. But it's not because they didn't have a good game; it's because they didn't market their game. If you're gonna sell a video game or any product, you have to let people know about it. They thought that if you have a good game, it'll sell itself, but in actuality, if you want to sell anything, you have to let people know about it. So that's my first reason for starting a YouTube channel. My second reason for starting a YouTube channel is also giving you tips and tricks throughout my game dev journey, because holy guacamole, I have been through a lot of problems, and I want to tell you those problems so you don't have to deal with them in the future, because some of you will want to create video games, and giving you those helpful dev tricks and telling you how to avoid problems is definitely beneficial to everyone. And that is my second reason. My third and main reason for starting a YouTube channel is accountability, because I, like many other developers, do get fatigued over time. I don't want to feel like creating my game, but if I have a YouTube channel and people encouraging me like, hey, when is this game coming out? I want to play this game. Then yeah, that gives me accountability to say, okay, yeah, I'm going to push further than I usually do. And so the third and main reason for starting a YouTube channel for me is accountability. And my last and fourth reason is for learning new things, because I'm new at most things. Like programming, I've been doing for 2 or 3 years. I've been modeling for a year, 3D modeling with Blender, but video editing, I know nothing. So I want to learn new things. I want to create an exciting YouTube channel that you guys can all enjoy with editing and give it a nice and entertaining feel to it. But right now, like I know nothing, but you got to start from somewhere. So that is my four reasons for starting a YouTube channel. So I don't think it would be fair for me to introduce myself without giving you a little game demo and showing you what my game's all about. So this is the armory level. This is a place where the player can buy weapons and also buy ammo. And this gives the player a sense of reward for completing every mission, because they get coins, they can buy new weapons, they can buy more ammo, and fight bosses and etc. And it gives the player a sense of reward, because normally in most FPSs like Call of Duty and Battlefield, the player will kill an enemy and then he'll gain access to that weapon. It's not really a reward, but here it is, because you're gaining coin, you're buying new weapons, you're buying new ammo, and I think it's pretty rewarding and pretty nice. So let's enter the armory right now. It's going to give you an option to enter the armory. We're going to press X. Boom. The window comes up where we can basically buy weapons and we buy ammo, and I think it's pretty nice. It's basic so far, so the player can press a button and buy a weapon, but it's not, the art is not there, and just needs to be coded out a little bit more. And I've already done the lighting for it, and we've placed most of the weapons where they're supposed to go, and it gives a little moody atmosphere to the game. But something I've coded recently, I programmed, is when you exit the area, boom, the armory disappears. When you enter it again, it gives you the option to enter, and we're back in it. So that's pretty neat to do. And let's exit the armory. So boom, we have now exited. Now let's go to the HQ. And the HQ is not really like a level where you fight enemies. It's more of an atmospheric level where you talk to NPCs, you go to the medical bay, you go to the armory, which we're right here, and you talk, and it gives the player some breathing room, and it gives them an essence of the story. So let's go to the HQ right now. Boom. Now we're in the HQ, and I put the environment where it's supposed to be. The medical bay is right here. The armory is over there. And something I've done recently is also add spaceships to the game that fly above head. And I think it's pretty neat. Like, we'll have our first spaceship right here. It's flying, flies across the screen. And then we also have a big one over here that's flying across the screen as well. And eventually what I want to have happen is not spaceships flying forward and back, but I also want spaceships to fly from left to right, and also at different times and at different locations. Because if you have the same spaceship flying over and over and over again, it's eventually going to become boring. But if you have multiple spaceships flying at different times and at different locations, it gives a more dynamic atmosphere. And I think it's pretty interesting for the player so far. So this is what we have. And eventually I'm going to add NPCs to this area, people who you can talk to. But let's just go over here. So this is our banner. Your faction is the slave miners who have rebelled and who want to be free. And this is their banner. And it's a mix between sci-fi and medieval. And I think it's pretty neat. So without further ado, let's go into the battlefield. So now we've entered the battlefield, and I've done most of the programming for the AI. So the enemy AI works, and the NPC AI also works. So their behavior, so you go far enough, they start following you, and these NPCs will attack enemies as well. So let's also go over here, and in the beginning I also did the weapon switchability. So you do have weapons, because it is an FPS mixed with an RPG. And you can switch between them, and you can also collect these ammo boxes that give you ammo. So I'm going to collect, I'm going to reload, and now my weapon has ammo. So now let's attack an enemy. So we're going to go over here. He's going to turn into attack state. He's going to start attacking me, and my NPCs are also going to attack him as well. Boom, now he's dead. And yeah, they haven't been modeled yet, the enemies or the NPCs, but when they do, they're going to look very interesting and very very awesome. But right now, it's just the programming that's been done. But let's go over here. We have the Korbanth banner, and these are basically enemies we're fighting. Like they're autocratic, they're dictators, they're very fascistic, and yeah, these are the people we're fighting in the game. And yeah, let's attack another enemy ourselves. We attack him, boom, he's dead. So yeah, that's my game so far, and it's gone a lot since we first started. Like when I first started, it was nothing, but now we got walls. We have the programming for the NPCs, the enemies. We have some spaceships that will fly in the future, and yeah, it looks amazing. I mean, it's not done, but it's getting there. So yeah, this is a demo of my game so far. Sorry about those mic issues earlier, but yeah, I just want to say thank you to you all for watching this video and getting to know me. And I just want to say, like, every journey has a beginning. Like, this isn't the end point, but it's definitely the starting point. And I just want to take you guys on a journey on taking this game from nothing, absolutely nothing, to something. And yeah, subscribe, and yeah, subscribe if you aren't sus. That's all I have. Thank you so much. Bye.